Welcome back, it's Christine again with the Artist Pod, and today we'll be talking about how to sketch out a cow. As always, I'm using a Wacom Intuos Pro tablet and I'm drawing straight into Photoshop. So, let's get arting. Alright, so to get started, I've started with a blank canvas. It's 15 by 18, right? If we come up here, canvas size, inches, 15 by 18. Let me do image size. 15 by 18, and the resolution is always 300. Sometimes Photoshop will be tricksy and set it to 72. Sometimes it's not a big deal, but if you want to publish it somewhere, or you're planning on printing it out in any capacity, I just sort of always default to 300. It's just a better resolution. Right, so you start with the blank white canvas. I'm going to start a new layer, which is just down in this corner here. I'm going to edit and fill with black. Then I'm going to start a new layer. Come over to my color selection and choose a purple so that I don't get confused over what is the animal and what is the sketch. And then I'm using the hard round brush set to a size of 15. So now to get started drawing the cow, right? We're going to draw two circles on either side. That's the eyes, right? So we're going to come up here, just kind of do circle, doesn't matter how big, we can make some adjustments if we need to. We're going to add in a eyebrow. Now you can do this several ways. You can either just cut across, right, like that. It's probably easier. I often take the harder route though, and I draw on top to make another sort of layer for the eyebrow. And then we're going to come over to the other side and do the same thing, roughly the same shape and height. Okay if it's not perfect, but it's just, another circle, or in this case it's a little bit more ovular, which is also fine. I'm going to come up here and do the same thing where we draw that eyebrow, the eyelid in. Okay, so that looks good. I'm actually just we might have to shrink this down. So then cows have, I'm just going to add some details. Sometimes that helps me. Alright, so we're going to come down here. There's going to be a nose. I'll make this a bit smaller because we're going to need it. Their noses are kind of squared off just a bit. Also going to extend it down just a smidge. All right, so now they have their noses are kind of inset, right? Kind of that spot there. And they have a chin. Now, their faces, we're going to come and sort of dip in by the eyes. Now, I'm also going to readjust here because this nose is not in the middle. So let's just make sure we're in the middle. Some of this will be changed as we draw, but All right. So, and then we'll beef out just a little bit and then bring it in before it gets to the chin, right? So we have that coming in. Pull this down. We might need to make it smaller because the ears will be flaring off to the sides. And then, we'll have the head coming up. Especially with cows, but I tend to do it with a lot of animals when I'm drawing it a little bit more cartoony. You put this bulge at the top. Cows would really have this nice sort of solid bulge coming up. Yeah, let's make it smaller. Because the ears are just going to be too big. Right? And then their heads kind of come up further than you would think they need to. Pretty high for cows. And then back down. And so in this, right, we're going to have bottom ear. So it kind of starts in a bit and then it flares out. This is where I was worried I wouldn't have enough room. It does this on both sides. So again, I might have to make this smaller. I think I will. Could make the face thinner, but you know. All right. Right. So you have the ears. I want to make sure that I have a nice big room for that. And then same thing on this side. Roughly in the same spot. A lot of readjustments. Right, and same thing underneath. I'm definitely cutting that close. So there's some ways that we could fix that. We could certainly, you know, it kind of looks like a baby cow, which is fine. But we could extend this down to make it look a little bit more mature. Right, and then you have the longer face. And you can make the nose bigger. Or we could leave it the smaller, cute cow that we had a minute ago. But with the ears, just making some adjustments. Okay, now. So you basically want like a circle right within the ear, kind of this ovular shape. Roughly in the same spot on both sides. That's a bit better. And then, you know, inside you'd have fluff kind of both edges. And then we're also going to draw eyebrows, right? So wouldn't do this except it's a cartoon. So for this case we would do this. It's just sort of a swoop like that. Yeah. And again, they have a nice high forehead coming up. I'll have this just come down. Debating on how those ears would look as they're connected in. If they're a little bit behind where the head is bulging, or if it pushes into the head, it can make a difference. I'd have to take a look at a cow just to be sure I got that right, but you know, and then they'd have, you know, you'd have that sort of bridge of the nose happening right there with the edges, sides coming down. So then the difference with a cow and a lot of other animals is this kind of comes off. It's a little bit more jagged than that. I rounded it out, but that's fine. You know, and you'll see how that looks. So gonna make their ears a little narrower. I don't think they're this thick. Now we're going to draw in the irises, the eyes. We could do it different ways. This certainly doesn't look like it's smiling. We just want to make sure it matches on both sides, whatever we do. And sometimes that's just minute changes, right? Quick shift here, quick shift there. Erasing something here, erasing something there. And then the last thing is to kind of add in the coloration of the cow, right? They're all a little different splotches of color. So we're gonna have like a little bit coming up on this half of the face, and maybe some on that half of the face, coming down. I don't know that I like that. Right, so that'll be brown and this will be white. I'll do kind of the same thing over here. And then we could have a little bit of brown coming down from the top. And we have our cow. I'm just going to erase a little bit in the middle. There we go. Alright, so that's how you sketch out a cow. I hope that was helpful. In the floating nether next to me, there are other videos of art tutorials I've done, and I will see you all soon. Thank you so much. Take care.